or adjourn?
Are we going downstairs for that?
No, it's here.
The legislative committee to hold is up here.
Yes.
And then the workshop is probably downstairs.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so we're just need to go right here. Stay here. Of the whole to order. Welcome, everyone. The purpose of today's Committee of the Whole is for an update from our government relations staff for the 2026 state and federal platforms, and we will be voting on these to send them on to our full board meeting. So we've had several workshops. Our last one was on October 21st, and I just want to acknowledge and thank our staff, Director O'Rourke, and then our government relations staff, Amy Wazalik and Jolie Wood, who have been just great at working on all of these issues. So thanks to everyone for all of your work on this. So before we get into the agenda, I would like to move the agenda for today of November 4th. So I would ask for a motion to approve our agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. And the second, moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Oh no, do we have to vote? Roll call. You have to roll call. Sorry, I forget we have to roll.
Chapin Singh.
Aye.
McMurtry.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Moran. Stepped away. Ortega.
Aye.
Zhang.
Aye.
And McGuire.
Aye. Then I would like to entertain a motion for the minutes from November 5th of 2024.
So moved.
From a year ago.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take roll call.
Chapin Singh.
Aye.
McMurtry.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Moran stepped up for a moment. Ortega.
Aye.
Zhang.
Aye.
And McGuire.
Aye. And I want to acknowledge Commissioner Moran, who's the vice chair of our team. She's vice chair of our committee, and our team works every week. We meet with our government relations staff, with our Deputy County Manager Maria Sarabia, and others to talk about all these issues, and I just want to thank you for all of your work. So with that, Director O'Rourke, thank you for being here. And as I said, we've had 2 workshops, so this is work that we've been going through. So if you'd like to take us through, and as you know, we can move quickly through this since we've seen these slides before. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll do my best to get everybody back on time here today. My name is Jennifer O'Rourke. I'm the Director of Government Relations here at the county. I'm happily joined here at the dais with Amy Wazalik and Jolie Wood, who are government relations specialists and part of the 3-person team, and we do this work. They're my first call for help, or first call a friend in almost every day here at the county in terms of this work. I also like to give an acknowledgement and shout out to our new colleague, Deputy Chief of Staff Andrew Greenlee. He came at a great time here at the county and was able to really give us a lot of input and kind of fresh set of eyes as we work through the last workshop leading up to that, and obviously today, and as we get ready for next legislative session. I'm going to go through several slides here, just a little bit of new information here and there, and I'll make sure to point that out as we work through it. A reminder of the goals of this presentation today. This legislative committee of the Legislative Committee of the Whole really meets only once or twice a year. We're happy to come before you and give updates at any point, but this is an official capacity where the work of the workshops comes forward and you all make a recommendation to the full board. In all likelihood, that will be on your agenda for November 18th, 2 weeks from today. So there will be an actual vote on both the state and the federal platforms at the end of this presentation. Quick recap from the 21st board workshop, and thank you for allowing us to have 2 board workshops. It was just extra good input. Sometimes we only have 1. This year we had 2, and that was really helpful for our work. We presented draft state legislative priorities to you at that last board workshop. We gave a very, very short overview of possible federal platform priorities. Because we were kind of tight on time last time, we did follow up with your offices. There was a memo coming from myself and Commissioner McGuire as our legislative lead for this work, and we'll go through those in a few slides. Just wanted to put this in front of you again. County manager did a really good job at our board workshop of just sort of laying out some of the messages that we've been getting, and you all have been getting out of NACO and some of our other partners. We're really in unprecedented times, and it's a little bit surreal to me as we work on a 2026 federal platform. We're living it right now, and just want to thank you for that work and dedication. You and your offices are always good partners for us when we need backup or signing on to a letter and whatnot, and participating in the various legislative committees. But that's important work. I think we're in really good shape in terms of having tight messaging around persistent property tax pressure we all face here with the budget and whatnot. I think there's a lot of good that we have in terms of messaging, and you all as messengers in terms of that work for next year. So thank you in advance for that. Reminder, these are the overarching themes I think we brought forward right after the budget, proposed budget was set up in September. No new unfunded mandates, protecting counties from further cuts. Counties should be at the table for any service delivery change, and then reducing the reliance on property tax. I feel we were some of the first to really hone in on these, and I see others like AMC and others picking up on them, so good on us. Moving into our state platform work, leading off, we just want to remind you all, our 2 projects we're bringing forward are Park at River's Edge for $20 million, Aldrich Arena at $8.5 million. That work's already underway. Commissioner Moran and Commissioner Zhang had an opportunity last week to be our feature presenters when we gave a tour to the Senate Bonding Committee. It really was a perfect day, and Commissioner Moran's right. It was we've done that tour a number of times, and it was just picture perfect. Anyway, Senator Sandy Pappas is our chief author on that, and it was a good presentation. Aldrich Arena will have an opportunity to show off that in a quick presentation to the House Bonding Committee next week, and we'll have another bite at the apple with Park at River's Edge for the House Bonding Committee too. And I highlight just because this work is ongoing, it doesn't necessarily kick off when we pass a platform later this month. These pursuit items are our top priorities, if you will. We spent a lot of good time on these at our last workshop, went into depth on a number of them. I'm not planning to go into a lot of depth on these right now, but would stop and entertain any questions if there are any.
There you
Chair?
go.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Jebin Singh.
Yes, I just have a quick question is, since these are the items that we will be leading or pursuing, who's responsible for crafting the specific language of the bills? This is my first process in the county, so I'd love to hear.
That's a great question. Thank you, Commissioner. I would say we work in partnership. We as in the 3 of us, with some input from others, identify who our chief authors should be. Often our legislators help with that because they know what's going on behind the scenes and whatnot. And then we are lucky to have we have a lot of resources in that area. We have our own Ramsey County Attorney's Office that we lean on here. We have staff, some of them are in the room, who know the statutes really well and say we just need these 2 word changes. And then we also have resources at the Capitol that are nonpartisan, and that's where you work with the legislator's office, and then when they kind of take on something or become our champion, they can really utilize those nonpartisan staff who want the statutes written the way they want them written.
Thank you.
Moving on, Madam Chair, if that's all right. Leading advocate items, none of these have changed since we brought these before you last time at the last workshop.
And while we're doing this, just, we have some exclamation marks. There's probably a key somewhere, just to remind us, the exclamation marks are for the ones that we're most leading on, and then the other four are not. Just, we have exclamation marks. Just remind
You're
us
exactly
what
right,
those are.
Madam Chair. They're ones we anticipate we're going to need to do a little bit more of being a leading advocate on.
Okay.
Or maybe we have materials and think that there's a really good Ramsey County story to tell there.
But we're advocating on all of them, yeah. Okay, thank you. Commissioner
I
Moran.
have a question on a pursuit item for the MAFA.
Sure.
Are we going to be asking for money for 2026 or 2027? What is that?
Madam Chair and Commissioner Moran, thank you for that question. Ramsey County, along with Hennepin County, are seeking two changes that are specific to us as early implementers of this new law. We're looking for an extension of the monies they gave us a couple years ago, which was $2.5 million for Ramsey County. Both Hennepin and Ramsey would like an extension of that that money, so we have a little bit more time to spend it. I'm not sure if we're looking for a 2-year extension or
6 months.
6-month extension. Okay, so that's one item. The second item has to do with help me out, Amy.
Moving case reviews to the state.
Moving case review to the state. And I think that's an item that AMC and almost everybody close to this is involved in. It's not controversial from a county perspective. I do not know how the state agency feels about it because it's probably an added cost for them.
So for clarity, you're saying we have not spent the $2.5 million that they have given us. Was that allocated for 25 and 26? Or what was that timeline to spend those dollars?
Madam Chair and Commissioner,
Amy knows.
Amy, do you?
Yeah, I can chime in on this. So when, in the course of the conversation with MAFPA, there was an extension given on the phase-in, and they forgot to extend the funding to match the phase-in. So there's a 6-month gap between when the funding ends and when the phase-in part ends. So they're trying to extend from June or July of 2026 to the beginning of the next year to get that funding, so to make sure we have enough time to spend all that money.
To spend all the money?
Yep.
Thank you. And the doing case review, is that part of this, or is that a different item?
It's part of it.
It's part of this.
I think that's on a following slide.
Oh. Okay.
There you go.
Chair?
I'm just looking, okay, yes. Commissioner Jevon Singh.
I just have a question on the fifth one down. We're not leading it. I've seen some information on this from some of our partners within the courts. It's the increased access to secure mental health treatment options in the East Metro. I know that there's some work that's being done in the county attorney's office and the courts and some other different groups. I'm just wondering who's leading this charge and how should we be paying attention so that we can be advancing that?
I can speak to that one. Yeah, Madam Chair, Commissioner. So I will say that this has primarily been a conversation that I've been having with the county attorney's office as well as the deputy mayor and Judge Carey. So we had another meeting on Friday. There is a rough technical proposal that Commissioner Moran actually brought into a conversation with, who are you meeting with that?
Monica Long and
No, the one for the secure adults. Was it Representative North?
Yes.
that was Representative Champion.
Oh, Champion. So we're currently working with the East Mental Health.
Senator Champion.
Okay, Senator Champion, and working with the East Mental Health Roundtable. And so we are looking for who might be the best to lead, but we're in sort of the discovery stage right now.
Chair, I really appreciate that kind of a collaboration is coming forward. When we were at AMC, at our District 10 meeting yesterday, there was a discussion from an outstate county that while a lot of times the request for beds is a very specific request that isn't always welcomed in absence of a broader spectrum of complex needs along the spectrum of care for mental and behavioral health, but they were able to get great support from the mental health community because it was done in that kind of collaborative and having the right partners at the table. So I'm grateful to hear that, and I think that that's a productive way forward. Thank you for that information.
Thank you. Okay.
Jumping back in to where I think we left off, Madam Chair, I would just put the support item slide back up in front of you. I don't think anything on here has necessarily changed since we were together in the board workshop previously.
And that's page, I don't know what page it is.
17.
17, I don't see my page numbers on my document here. But, okay, so we don't see it on the screen.
Yeah, can you
just-
put it on
yeah.
screen, someone?
Oh, there you go.
Okay, there it is.
Thanks, Jason.
And it's in our it's in the board document, so, okay,
What's the support items?
thanks. All right, thank you for those support items. And there'll be somebody leading on these, so at some point we can get a chart that says who else is leading, because we're supporting them, but either AMC or another group organization, and we're supporting those, right?
Yes, I'll just say, we've started that grid chart, however you want to lay it out. We've shared that with you. We keep making additions to it, so we'll make sure that column is on there for clarity.
Right, just so we know who's leading it. Commissioner Moran?
So it's good to see all the things that we are pursuing and leading and advocating for. What's the difference between pursue and lead? As a leader. So you're not the primary lead, but you're leading. Okay, so I'm just thinking, as we begin to put our document together, that you work with the chair and the vice chair as we look at what that presentation looks like as we go into the 2026 legislative session.
And they've got it all on one page in the next page, but
Okay.
so I know you've been advocating for a one-pager. And I mean, we will have separate, pages for each of these when we're asking for our authors to have a one-pager on each of these. But for all of them, the next page, which will show up here, is the summary of all our top priorities.
Yep.
Pursue, lead, and support, so that at least gives us a really condensed version. We used to have a lot of pages in this, and it was difficult because we support so many things, but this is really the meat of our agenda.
But I don't think if we are not leading on something that we have to be the one to put it in front of someone, right?
Right.
Because they need to know clearly what it is that we are asking them and that Ramsey County needs specifically, right? And I think it gets too muddled when it becomes, we support this or that. I mean, that's nice, but
So we
we're not
can,
leading on it. So I just think that we should definitely dig deeper into that conversation on what we give into legislators,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's good that our committee will continue to meet weekly, and Commissioner Moran as the vice chair of the committee and the team, the legislative team that meets weekly, will be intimately involved in that. So
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have slide 12 up on my screen. That is the summary of all top priorities. I assume we're kind of in the same place. Moving on, if you will, talking about our federal platform. As I stated in the last board workshop, we didn't have very many ideas that percolated up through our LPATs. Those were the legislative platform advisory teams on the staff side.
And I'm sorry, but just for the viewing audience, LPAT is the
Legislative Advisory,
right,
Legislative Platform Advisory Team.
LPAT, Legislative Platform Advisory Team, which is made up of people from Ramsey County that come together to talk
Right.
about these issues. Right.
Thank
I just
you,
wanna
Madam
be sure
Chair.
that
Those were staff
we're using
specific,
that we're
I
using an
would say.
acronym that everybody understands.
Right. So what we did, we went back to the NACO platform. We thought long and hard about a lot of the work and priorities that line up well with the priorities here at the county, that line up with things we can actually try to work on at the federal level. So that's what we're going to walk through quickly. On the Health and Human Services front, I'll just read through this quickly because we didn't get to last time. obviously working on SNAP and Medicaid and making sure, doing what we can with the right agencies and the right leaders to alleviate some of the pain for both our budget, the state budget, and then obviously on individuals and families. Supporting changes around streamlining of min-choice reassessments. The workforce WIOA one is new since we were together last time. It didn't come up through our own internal processes, and it was something we worked with the director and others to get in here. Mm-hmm. Emergency management, that's alive and happening right now with this administration. Homelessness assistance, and then there are a few affordable housing platform items that we're able to work in here around important funding and reauthorization, such as community development block grant money, the home investment partnerships program, and some tenant-based rental assistance. And if I could move on, Madam Chair.
I just want to make just a clarifying on the federal platform. So we do have, we have a federal consultant lobbyist that we use to help us with these, but we also do a lot of this work through NACO, through our National Association of Counties. These are issues that I believe every county in the country supports. So we'll be relying on our National Association for help. I think these are probably items that AMC, our Association of Minnesota Counties, will have on their federal platform. And then we also have our own lobbyists to help push forward some of these. And we have a really good working relationship with our own Congresswoman McCollum and also our U.S. senators. So that's how those get advocated for, right?
Okay, yes, good.
Okay. Great. Oh, Commissioner McMurtry and then Commissioner Jean.
I have one too.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarification, under the affordable housing bucket, the support for the tenant-based rental assistance, is that Section 8 vouchers? Just confirm, it is, okay. Just wanted to confirm that. I know that there was some conversation around, potential cuts and reorganizing how the funding for Section 8 is being proposed by this current administration. So just wanted to ensure that was in there. So thanks for the clarification.
Thanks for that.
Thank you. Commissioner Jean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the federal legislative priorities, I know that this is something that NACO has supported in the past, or currently support, is the Medicaid eligibility if someone is detained in our jail or our correctional facility. I actually think that we need to add this to our top priority, because these are costs that all counties incur, right, for having folks in our jail and our correctional facility where they are no longer eligible for Medicaid. And that cost is the care that we provide to them are from property taxes. So I wanted to make sure that we continue to lift that up and advocate on that issue, because as these federal safety nets, get decimated essentially, we are going to see more and more poor people in our jail and in our correctional facilities.
Who need services and
Yeah.
can get it. So that is awesome catch.
Yes, both
Because
Commissioner
all
Moran and I are
counties
like,
across
yes.
the nation is talking about that
Yeah.
issue. Housing and homelessness affordable housing can be one, and just add safety, public safety, or health and well-being or something.
Yeah, I agree that we should lift that one up. It is a huge area of advocacy for NACO, our National Association, and our state association. It was the number one issue our state association lobbied on too. So I know we support those platforms. So at the end of all this, we say we support the platforms of AMC and NACO unless we don't. So I'm guessing it's part of that, but I'm also happy to lift it up specifically in ours as a really major issue. And Commissioner Jevonsing and then Commissioner Ortega.
Yeah, I think that's a really great
Yeah.
catch, Commissioner Jean,
Oh, yeah,
especially because the ongoing conversation of making sure that individuals who are in our jails have the right to access their same medications that they came in with, and that's going to have an additional cost if we don't have access to if they get bumped off of their public insurance when they're under our care. That will only exacerbate that issue for us and for them, and so great catch.
Yeah. Commissioner Ortega and then Commissioner Moran.
You know, this is not a new issue. This
No, it's
issue-
been around for a long
This
time.
issue's been around before me.
Yes, we've been lobbying
But,
on it for a long
but
time.
my question is, what's the barrier? Because we've had it on our
Oh, for sure.
platform before, and it's been a key issue. So I'm just asking, and we've had both parties in charge of the
And they both agree.
We haven't been able to move it a dime with, no matter who's in charge. So I'm just asking the question, because we're gonna put it on a list, we're
Right.
gonna work for it, and if we're doing the same thing, we're gonna get the same results.
Well, I'm sure Commissioner Moran and I would, and you won't be surprised by this, but, and I'll ask other people for their opinion, but because I lobbied Congress on this as president of AMC, this was our #1 issue, and we went to every office, and they all agreed that this was something we should do, and no matter which party you're from, this is something we should do, and it's money. I mean, it's who pays for it. The federal government did not want to allocate the dollars. They wanted us to allocate them. Oh, God, sorry. I don't know why this is doing.
Did they say
Yeah, they just don't have the money. I mean, it's just the funding. It's a budget issue. It's a lot of money to do that, and I don't have the numbers, but I used to have them at the top of my head of how much it was going to cost. We've started taking it in small pieces, like NACO and AMC said, well, let's just do it for a short amount of time or this many people, just to get our foot in the door with this issue, because everybody says we agree, but we aren't going to fund it, but maybe we'll take less funding to do a shorter amount. So we would need to get more details on that, but you are right, it has been around for a long time, and it is definitely a federal government, it should be covered by the federal
You know,
government.
and the taxpayers
Yeah.
still pay for it.
Yeah.
Whether
It's-
it's federal dollar or
Well,
county
right,
dollar.
right, but it should come from the feds.
And then maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it's a partnership, maybe we divide the cost up so they don't bear the full, but it's.
And I think
we're
that's what
paying
they
for
were
it.
doing, yeah. We were trying to figure out some way to get that to happen, but if Maria Sarabia,
Thank
Deputy
you,
County
Madam
Manager.
Chair. And Commissioner, that's an excellent question. I think you're spot on, Madam Chair, in terms of the price piece, but it's very rare that I get to pull out an old hat I used to wear out of the Medicaid policy wonk back in the day at DHS. And the one entity that did make progress in this was DOC. And DOC has a workaround, and they had to work with DHS to get a unique application called the 6696B. I only know this because I had to administer the whole thing. But the sheriffs and all of the correctional facilities advocated to pay the half of the non-federal share, so that when people who are incarcerated are admitted into a medical institution, then they are then able to apply for Medicaid to cover it. And the DOC paid for those half of the share. So it was the exact sort of, like, is there a portion that we can pay for or a portion that can be covered? And there was a unique workaround. It took a lot of special coding in Maxis, where you had to put a special, depending on where the person slept that night, if they were in an institution. There's all these barriers that have been baked in, and the cost, of course, is the main barrier. But if you were able to get the person who had been admitted into a medical institution while incarcerated, you changed their living arrangement code in Maxis, it turned on the key so that the DOC can then pay a portion of the share. It was a federal match that usually the feds wouldn't pay for, and that's just the way it is in the federal regs, that we wouldn't pay for people who are incarcerated. So there's some creativity that could happen if we can't get the whole gusto that we could explore.
I think we should add it to the platform, and we can continue to work with it on whatever
You know,
configuration we can
maybe
have.
instead of going after, even if we got a dime on the dollar,
Yeah.
we'd be ahead of the
Something,
game.
right. And I think both NACO and AMC are figuring that out too, but I think we should put it on our platform, and then we can get more information on where they're at with it. We're not alone in this, obviously, but definitely, whatever we can do to get even incremental help with this, I think is really important. So let's add it, let's highlight it as an issue. And I think you are going to talk about this, but we are going to support, these other platforms. We will support AMC, Platform Association of Minnesota Counties. We will support NACO's unless we don't. So, but we should highlight this one. Does that clear then?
So I have a question.
Yeah, oh yeah, Commissioner
I
Moran.
have a simple question. Who is our federal lobbyist?
Madam Chair,
For the county.
Commissioner Moran, we work with a group right now called TFG, called the Ferguson Group, based out of DC. They do a lot of county work across the country. We are their only Minnesota county they're working with right now. They also, interestingly, have the city of Blaine for Minnesota work.
And this is a contract that we put out for bid every year, and we'll be doing it again in this January, or not every year? I don't know when their contract goes.
Just Commissioner McGuire, similar to other procurement work, we follow their rules, obviously. This was a new contract last year. I thought it was good to only go do it for a year, just so we could kind of assess everything, make sure we were happy with what they put out. I will say they write some of the best summaries of what's going on at the federal level and whatnot that I've ever seen out of any entity. And we're happy to talk more about this with you both and our legislative team offline or with anybody at the
But it sounds like you're pleased with their work and.
Okay. Yeah, and those summaries could definitely be given to the board. They might, I'm sure they're in my emails, you know, we could send them out to the whole board as you were interested. Commissioner Jean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Overall, the items that we've identified here, is consistent with what we have been discussing. I would also like to know more, just spend a little bit more time on our pursuit items about some of our legislative strategies, about which partners are we engaging and, if any, and how we would, actively work on this and any potential authors, if that has been identified yet.
Yeah, great point, Commissioner Zhang, and I think we'd all be very interested in that. So I was just talking to the county manager, and we can put this on an agenda for a workshop or a meeting, at another board meeting as we get all the details of how this is the implementation of these platform items. But it's a great thing, and I know we'll be working on that throughout the year, and we should definitely, we can do a follow-up meeting on this.
Okay.
Commissioner McMurtry, and then Moran. Okay, you're good. Commissioner McMurtry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to leave a little before we wrapped up some time to hear about the appropriated dollars for projects from the federal government, where we are with selecting whatever projects we would want to lift up and hopefully get appropriated dollars through the CPF process, and where we are with that.
Madam Chair and Commissioner, thanks for the question. A couple of reactions to that. I did have our federal lobbyists put together a report that's in my inbox, but it's a report of what has worked well with Senator Smith and Klobuchar and Representative McCollum to better understand what their top priorities have been around selecting congressionally directed spending projects, formerly known as earmarks. Top of mind, I know a lot of times public safety projects are pretty popular, and I would highlight that, as local governments, most of the time, most of these federal members have listened hard and listened well to the requests of local governments, I would say, as opposed to some of the nonprofits that we've had to compete with in the past. We've been really focused on getting these platforms, if you will, ready. We'd like to work with the county manager, the exec team, several of you, to put together a process, come up with some ideas about what's going well, what we'd like to highlight. You have some experience in this area too from Representative Craig's office, so we're eager to get a lot of input on that and move forward.
Thank you.
I have one thing. Excuse me, Commissioner Moran.
Can you just share what CPF mean? Can you tell us what that is?
Child protection
Community
system.
project funding.
Community
Project funding.
Community project funding.
CPF.
Earmarks.
Yeah, it's either congressionally, we either congressionally directed spending or community funding projects.
Okay.
It takes on there's different waves.
Well, and if I could just comment to add some clarity, in the olden times, they called these earmarks, Commissioner Moran, and then earmarks went away for about 12 years, and then maybe 5 years ago, they came back. The Senate has a name, and the House has a name. So CPF is the House name, congressionally
Community
community project funding, and the Senate uses congressionally directed spending. So in the Senate, you say CDS, which is why sometimes I just fall back to earmarks.
But thank you for that, because we put those acronyms, and I'm like, what does
Right.
it mean? Right? And so,
Right.
appreciate that.
And I'm glad you're going to come up with a process for that. I mean, that we can all, be aware of. Yeah, Commissioner Jevon Singh.
I just want to say, I had a number of questions, but I'm going to table those because I'm very excited about the prospect of more of a workshop on strategy and tactics and digging into each one of these and how we can be of service to that. So I'll just set that aside, knowing that we're pressed for time today, but, maybe that's something we can be thinking about, is how we can be best pursuing all of these items. And I think in these times, most importantly, listening to our partners in community and coalition building. So some of these are very broad topics that are impacting many people beyond us here in Ramsey County. So looking forward to that upcoming workshop.
We'll be definitely having one of those. And I know you're getting to your last slide, which talks about other next steps. And I don't want to forget to just say, for those of you that are new, and I think we did it, you've seen this happen, but when we start in the legislative session, there will always be a legislative update on the agenda that we can do updates on at that point, where we can talk about what's going on. We also can take votes, actually, we'll say, and voting may take place on anything that we may have to take a vote, although we haven't had to do emergency votes very often, if ever. So we will be, continuing to talk about these issues on a regular basis, but I'm glad we're going to have a workshop. And we are going to have a delegation meeting. You're going to get to that slide here. Yeah. Do you have the last slide?
Just real quick, Madam Chair and others. Next steps for this, there are 2 votes you need to take today. Commissioner McGuire, both separate votes on the state and the federal platforms. From there, there'll be an RBA on November 18th, which would be the official vote. And then, the work November through February. We have a little bit of a delay with late session start, February 17th. And, we do the work. That's where the real nit and gritty happens, with communications, other experts around the county, identifying what you all want to be our go-to person on, and the good stuff.
Great. Okay, thank you so much. So now we are going to take 2 motions. One to approve the 2026 Ramsey County State Legislative Platform, and then the second vote will be on the Ramsey County Federal Legislative Platform. Yes, as amended, thank you. We are amending to include, we're amending, thank you, Commissioner Moran and Commissioner Zhang, for, we'll have a motion to include the Medicaid reimbursement or Medicaid exclusion for our eliminating the Medicaid exclusion for our incarcerated people, yeah. So that wording will be specific when we bring it to a board meeting, but we can pass it as a concept out of this meeting.
Thank you.
So I will ask for a motion on the first one. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call on this. Is the state legislative platform.
Jevon Singh,
Aye.
McMurtry,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Moran, Ortega,
Aye.
Zhang,
Aye.
and McGuire.
Aye. And now on the federal legislative platform, entertain a motion for passing that.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded on the federal platform. Hearing no discussion, we'll take roll call.
Jevon Singh,
Aye.
McMurtry,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Moran, Ortega,
Aye.
Zhang,
Aye.
and McGuire.
Aye. Thank you all for all of your work, all of your great ideas, and we just look forward to continuing this work together. Thank you, Director O'Rourke and Amy Wasilek and Julie Wood. The meeting is adjourned.